Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Why are you so concerned with what everybody else is doing? Why are you scrolling through life watching what they're achieving instead of putting in the work to achieve yours? You were not born to be a spectator. You were born to be a creator, a leader, a force to be reckoned with. But as long as your eyes are on them, your hands will never be building your dreams. See, too many people waste their lives in the shadows of comparison. They admire, they envy, they criticize, but they never act. And today, I'm here to tell you, enough is enough. It's time to shift your focus. It's time to master the only person who stands between you and success. Your success is not a matter of luck or talent alone. It is a matter of focus. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who remain stuck in mediocrity is not intelligence, connections, or even hard work alone. It is the ability to direct one's mind, energy, and actions toward a single clear objective without being swayed by distractions. Focus is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And without it, even the most ambitious dreams will remain out of reach. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media notifications, endless entertainment, opinions from others, and a constant stream of news keep people's attention scattered. The average person spends hours every day consuming content that adds no real value to their lives while claiming they don't have enough time to build their dreams. The truth is, time is not the issue, lack of focus is. When you give your attention to everything, you give your power to nothing. Your mind is like a camera. It can only capture what it is pointed at. If you keep shifting the lens, you will never develop a clear picture of success. Highly successful people understand that focus is their most valuable asset. They don't allow themselves to be distracted by every new trend, every opinion, or every opportunity that comes their way. Instead, they choose their path deliberately and commit to it fully. They know that half-hearted effort produces half-hearted results. Instead of trying to master everything, they master one thing at a time. They build their skills, sharpen their expertise, and become the best in their field by keeping their eyes on the prize and refusing to be swayed by anything that does not serve their purpose. A scattered mind leads to scattered results. Imagine trying to light a fire with a magnifying glass. If you keep moving it around, the sunlight will never concentrate enough to create a spark. But if you hold it steady, the focused energy will ignite a flame. That is how success works. When you commit to one goal, one vision, and give it your undivided attention, you generate the power necessary to make it a reality. People who achieve greatness are not necessarily more talented or gifted. They are simply more focused. Distractions are not always obvious. Sometimes they come disguised as responsibilities, minor opportunities, or even well-meaning advice from friends and family. The biggest mistake people make is thinking they can divide their energy between multiple pursuits and still achieve excellence. Success demands depth, not just breadth. It is better to go all in on one thing and master it than to spread yourself too thin, making small progress in many areas but never reaching mastery in any. Those who lack focus chase too many things at once and end up achieving nothing substantial. The power of focus is also a discipline. It requires training your mind to resist temptations that pull you away from your true purpose. It means saying no to things that do not align with your mission. It means having the courage to walk your own path even when the world tries to pull you in different directions. Focus is about self-control, patience, and long-term thinking. It is about being willing to delay gratification, ignore the noise, and stay locked in on your goals no matter how many distractions surround you. Many people fail to succeed not because they lack ability, but because they lack the discipline to focus long enough. They start something with excitement but abandon it the moment challenges arise or when something new and shiny catches their attention. Success requires consistency and focus. It means showing up every day with the same energy, the same commitment, and the same determination, even when the results are not immediate. It means trusting the process and knowing that every focused effort compounds over time. In a world full of distractions, the ability to focus is a superpower. Those who master it will achieve what others only dream of. It is not enough to simply desire success. One must direct all their energy toward it with relentless concentration. The moment you take control of your focus, you take control of your destiny. Distractions are the silent killers of potential. They do not announce their presence loudly or appear as obvious threats. Instead, they creep in subtly, disguising themselves as entertainment, social engagement, or even minor responsibilities that seem urgent but add little value to long-term success. The tragedy is that most people never realize how much of their potential has been stolen by distractions until it is too late. They look back on their lives and wonder where their time went, why they never achieved what they were capable of, and why success remained out of reach despite their efforts. The mind is a powerful tool, capable of creating extraordinary things when it is fully engaged, but when attention is divided, that power is weakened. Imagine a high-performance sports car designed to travel at incredible speeds. If the driver constantly taps the brakes, shifts lanes erratically, and stops to look at every roadside attraction, the car will never reach its destination in time. This is exactly what distractions do to the mind. They force constant stops and detours, preventing people from gaining momentum in their pursuits. No matter how talented or intelligent someone may be, if their focus is continuously pulled in different directions, they will never operate at their full potential. One of the most dangerous things about distractions is that they feel harmless in the moment. Scrolling through social media for a few minutes, checking emails constantly, watching just one more episode of a show, these seem like minor, insignificant choices. But when added up over weeks, months, and years, they create a pattern of wasted time and lost opportunities. The minutes lost to distractions turn into hours, the hours into days, and before long, entire years have slipped away without real progress being made toward meaningful goals. What seemed like small diversions eventually become the very reason why success remains unattainable. The worst distractions are not just time wasters, they are mind wasters. They fill the brain with unnecessary noise, lowering mental sharpness and reducing creative thinking. When someone constantly consumes content that has no purpose, their ability to think deeply and solve problems weakens. The mind becomes cluttered with trivial information instead of being laser focused on developing skills, building businesses, or improving personal growth. Many people are trapped in cycles of consumption rather than creation, and as a result, their full potential is never realized. Not all distractions come from external sources. Internal distractions, self-doubt, fear, procrastination, are just as destructive, if not more. A person can sit down to work on their dreams, but if their mind is filled with doubts about whether they are good enough, whether they will succeed, or whether they will be judged, then their progress will be slow, if not completely halted. Negative thoughts are distractions in disguise. They take up mental space and energy, leaving little room for productivity and confidence. Over time, these internal distractions create hesitation and inaction, robbing people of the opportunities that could have transformed their lives. Distractions do not just delay success, they derail it. Every time someone stops working on their goals to entertain a distraction, they lose momentum. And momentum is one of the most powerful forces in success. When someone is fully engaged in their work, their progress compounds and they achieve greater results in less time. But when that focus is broken, it takes time and energy to regain it. People who allow themselves to be distracted frequently end up in a cycle of starting over again and again, never making significant progress because they keep losing the very force that drives success forward. Modern technology has made distractions more accessible than ever before. Social media, instant messaging, video content, and endless notifications have trained people's brains to seek constant stimulation. The ability to sit down and focus deeply on one thing for an extended period is becoming rare. Those who master their focus will stand out in a world where most people are easily distracted. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who remain average is not always intelligence or talent. It is the ability to protect their attention from distractions that serve no purpose. Distractions are not just a minor inconvenience, they are a barrier between people and their highest potential. Every moment spent on meaningless activities is a moment stolen from productivity, skill building, and self-mastery. Success requires discipline, and discipline begins with the ability to control what receives attention. Too many people spend their lives watching, analyzing, and discussing what others are doing while completely neglecting their own growth. They scroll through social media, comparing their progress to people they don't even know. They gossip about the success or failure of others, acting as if someone else's life has anything to do with their own. They waste precious time observing instead of executing. This obsession with other people's business is a silent dream killer. It keeps individuals distracted from the only thing that truly matters, their own journey. The reality is, focusing on other people's lives does absolutely nothing to improve your own. Watching someone else succeed will not make you successful. Gossiping about another person's failures will not make you any stronger. Comparing yourself to others will not accelerate your progress. Every minute spent worrying about someone else's path is a minute stolen from the time you should be investing in your own growth. Success is not about what others are doing. It is about what you are doing every single day to become the best version of yourself. Most people don't even realize how much energy they waste being consumed by other people's business. They are emotionally invested in someone else's wins and losses as if it has any real impact on their destiny. They allow envy, judgment, and resentment to take up space in their minds, completely forgetting that those emotions produce nothing of value. Meanwhile, the person they are so obsessed with is too busy working on their own success to even notice. While one person is watching, the other is building. While one is talking, the other is executing. That's why some people get ahead while others remain stagnant. Minding your own business is more than just avoiding gossip. It is about protecting your energy. When you are too caught up in what others are doing, you lose focus on your own vision. Your mind becomes cluttered with distractions that prevent you from taking meaningful action. Instead of using your energy to improve your skills, grow your income, or develop new opportunities, you waste it on things that have no impact on your life. The most successful people in the world have mastered the ability to tune out the noise and focus entirely on their own business. One of the biggest reasons people fail to reach their goals is because they are too busy competing with others instead of competing with themselves. They are constantly looking left and right, measuring their progress based on what someone else is achieving. But success is not a race against others, it is a race against your own potential. The only question that truly matters is, are you better today than you were yesterday? If the answer is no, then the only competition you need to focus on is yourself. Every day, your goal should be to improve, even if it's just by 1%. The truth is, most people who spend time talking about others do so because they are avoiding the work they need to do on themselves. It is easier to criticize someone else's journey than to confront the uncomfortable truth about their own lack of progress. It is easier to complain about another person's success than to do the difficult work required to create their own. But nothing great is built through distraction and jealousy. Every moment spent analyzing another person's life is a moment that could have been used to build something of value. Success demands laser focus. It requires the discipline to block out everything that does not contribute to growth. It means shutting off the distractions, ignoring opinions that do not serve you, and directing all of your energy toward your mission. The more you focus on yourself, the faster you grow. The faster you grow, the more successful you become. But that can only happen when you stop worrying about what others are doing and start taking responsibility for your own path. Minding your own business is not about isolation. It is about elevation. It is about keeping your eyes on the prize and refusing to be distracted by things that do not serve your purpose. It is about developing an unshakable commitment to your own progress, no matter what is happening around you. The moment you stop giving attention to what doesn't matter and start investing all of your energy into your own success, you will begin to unlock levels of achievement that most people will never reach. Most people spend their lives measuring themselves against others, constantly looking to the left and right to see who is ahead and who is behind. They compare their progress, their wealth, their success, and even their happiness to that of someone else. But the truth is, competition with others is an illusion. The only real competition is with yourself. The person you were yesterday, last week, last month, last year. Until you understand that the battle is internal, you will always be chasing someone else's definition of success instead of creating your own. When you focus on competing with others, you give away your power. Your emotions rise and fall based on what someone else is doing. If they succeed, you feel like you're losing. If they struggle, you feel like you're winning. But real success isn't about beating someone else. It's about becoming better than your previous self. It's about setting your own standards, pushing your own limits, and measuring progress by how much you have grown. External competition is a distraction. Internal competition is the path to mastery. Too many people allow comparison to paralyze them. They see someone who is further ahead and immediately feel discouraged, believing they will never catch up. But the person you're comparing yourself to is running an entirely different race. They have a different background, different experiences, different struggles, and different opportunities. Their success has nothing to do with yours. The only thing that matters is whether you are improving. If you are growing, learning, and making progress, even if it's small, you are winning. The most successful people in the world are obsessed with self-improvement. They don't waste time worrying about what others are doing. Instead, they ask themselves, how can I be better today than I was yesterday? They study, they train, they refine their skills, and they push their limits. They are not concerned with proving themselves to others. They are focused on becoming their best selves. This is why they continue to rise while others remain stagnant. Because their competition, when you compete with yourself, you develop discipline and resilience. You stop making excuses because you realize that the only thing holding you back is you. It forces you to be honest about your weaknesses and take full responsibility for your progress. You stop blaming circumstances, other people, or bad luck, and you start taking action to improve. Every day becomes an opportunity to set new personal records, to sharpen your mindset, and to level up in ways that actually matter. There is no limit to how much you can grow when you are competing against yourself. Unlike external competition, which depends on beating others, internal competition has no finish line. There is always another level to reach. You can always improve your mindset, strengthen your discipline, and refine your skills. The only true failure is stagnation. choosing to remain the same while knowing you have the potential to be greater.
Yeah.
The moment you embrace self-competition, your potential becomes limitless. Competing with others creates a scarcity mindset, the belief that success is limited and that someone else's victory means your loss. But competing with yourself creates an abundance mindset, the understanding that success is infinite and your only job is to become the best version of yourself. When you stop focusing on where others are and start focusing on where you are, you gain full control over your growth. You no longer need to prove anything to anyone. Your success is determined by one thing only: your commitment to daily improvement. The greatest competition you will ever face is the person in the mirror. Every morning you have a choice to be the same person you were yesterday or to push yourself to new heights. Every decision, every action, every habit is either moving you forward or keeping you stuck. The ones who win in life are not the ones who chase others. They are the ones who chase their own greatness, one day at a time. Most people believe that success comes from massive, life-changing actions, but in reality, it is built through small, consistent efforts over time. It is not one big move that transforms a person's life. It is the daily habits, the small choices, and the minor improvements that compound into something extraordinary. Success is never an overnight event. It is a process of persistence, discipline, and commitment to doing the right things repeatedly. Those who understand this principle do not wait for a perfect moment to take action. They create success through consistency. The problem is that many people underestimate the power of small actions. They believe that if something doesn't produce instant results, it isn't worth doing. This mindset leads to inconsistency, where they start with enthusiasm but quit when they don't see immediate progress. They fail to recognize that the biggest achievements are built on a foundation of seemingly insignificant steps. Just as a single drop of water does not fill a bucket, but many drops over time create an overflow, success is the result of continuous, disciplined effort. Look at any successful person and you will see a pattern of consistency in their journey. The best athletes do not become champions by training once in a while. They show up every single day, whether they feel like it or not. The greatest entrepreneurs do not build wealth overnight. They make strategic decisions, improve their skills, and put in the work daily. The most skilled musicians, artists, and speakers did not wake up one day with mastery. They practiced, refined, and perfected their craft over time. What separates the great from the average is their ability to stay consistent long after the excitement fades. Success is not about making huge leaps. It is about stacking small wins. When you commit to a daily process of improvement, even if the progress is slow, it adds up in ways that most people never realize. Reading a few pages of a book every day may not seem significant, but over a year, it results in dozens of books read and a transformed mindset. Exercising for just 30 minutes a day may not seem like much at first, but over months, it leads to remarkable physical and mental strength. Investing small amounts of money consistently may not seem like a game changer, but over time, it creates financial freedom. The key is not to do something once in a while. It is to do it consistently. Most people struggle with consistency because they are too focused on the outcome instead of the process. They expect quick results, and when they don't see immediate success, they get discouraged and quit. But true progress happens beneath the surface, where it is not always visible. Just like a seed takes time to grow roots before it sprouts above the ground, success requires patience and faith in the process. The people who stay consistent, even when they don't see instant rewards, are the ones who eventually reap the greatest benefits. Every small action is a vote for the person you are becoming. Every healthy meal you eat is a vote for a stronger body. Every book you read is a vote for a sharper mind. Every time you show up and put in the work, you are casting a vote for your future success. These small decisions may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they shape your identity and determine the life you create. The question is not whether small actions matter. The question is whether you are willing to be consistent long enough to see the results. People often look at successful individuals and assume they achieved greatness through big, dramatic efforts. But the truth is, their success was built on boring, repetitive, disciplined work that most people ignore. They did the small things when no one was watching. They stayed committed even when progress was slow. They kept showing up when others got distracted. What looks like overnight success from the outside is actually years of unseen effort, persistence, and discipline. Those who commit to small, consistent actions will always outlast those who rely on short bursts of motivation. No matter how big your dreams are, they will only become reality through the small steps you take every day. The people who succeed are not the ones who wait for motivation to strike. They are the ones who build momentum by taking action, no matter how small, every single day. Life does not reward those who wait for things to happen. It rewards those who take control and take action. Too many people go through life as spectators, watching opportunities pass them by, waiting for the perfect moment or hoping that someone will come and change their circumstances. But success is not given, it is taken by those who have the courage to step up, make decisions, and take action even when they don't have all the answers. Those who win in life are the ones who refuse to be passive and instead take full responsibility for shaping their own destiny. The biggest lie people tell themselves is that they are not in control, that their success depends on luck, circumstances, or what others allow them to achieve. This kind of thinking is what keeps people stuck. The truth is, no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you success on a silver platter. If you want something, you have to go after it with everything you've got. Waiting will only lead to regret because time does not stop, and every moment wasted is a moment that could have been used to build the life you want. Most people hesitate when it's time to take action because they fear failure. They wait until they feel ready. But the truth is, no one ever feels fully ready. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. Successful people act despite uncertainty. They do not sit around overanalyzing and doubting themselves. They understand that action creates clarity. Every step forward, even if it's small, builds momentum. Every decision made, even if it's not perfect, leads to new opportunities. Success is not about knowing everything before you start. It's about having the courage to start and figuring it out along the way. Taking control of your life means owning your choices. It means refusing to blame your past, your circumstances, or other people for where you are. It means understanding that every decision you make is either moving you closer to your goals or keeping you stuck. People who take control do not make excuses, they find solutions. They do not complain about their situation. They take action to change it. They do not wait for permission. They give themselves permission to succeed. This mindset shift is what separates those who accomplish great things from those who spend their lives wishing for them. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. You can have the best ideas, the biggest dreams, and the most detailed plans, but none of it matters if you don't execute. Too many people get caught in the cycle of thinking, planning, and preparing without ever moving forward. They convince themselves that they need more information, more time, or better conditions before they start. But success belongs to those who do, not just those who dream. Even if you fail, even if you make mistakes, taking action always puts you ahead of those who never start. When you take control of your life, you stop waiting for opportunities and start creating them. Instead of hoping for a lucky break, you take consistent action to open doors. Instead of relying on someone else to recognize your worth, you work until your results speak for themselves. Instead of allowing fear to hold you back, you face it head on and push through. Those who wait for things to happen are always at the mercy of others, but those who take action shape their own future. One of the biggest regrets people have is wasting time they could have used to start that business, write that book, build that skill, or chase that dream. They look back and realize that the only thing standing between them and success was their own hesitation. Every day that passes is another day lost. The best time to take action was yesterday. The second best time is right now. The faster you start, the faster you grow. The longer you wait, the further behind you fall. Taking control of your life is not about having all the answers. It is about deciding that you will no longer let fear, doubt, or excuses stop you. It is about making the choice to move forward no matter what. Because in the end, success is not determined by luck or talent. It is determined by who is willing to take action and never stop pushing forward. You don't see yourself as the best. Why should anyone else? If you don't believe in your own greatness, why should the world? See, success isn't reserved for a chosen few. It's claimed by those who have the audacity to act as if they already own it. Every champion, every leader, every history maker had a moment when they decided, I am the best. Not because the world told me so, but because I decided it. And today I am here to tell you, you have that same power. If you don't believe in yourself, nothing else matters. Every success story, every great achievement, every legendary figure in history had one thing in common: an unshakable belief in their own ability. Before the world recognized them, before they had proof, before they had any reason to believe, they made a decision to trust themselves. That decision alone set them apart from the masses. The people who rise to the top in any field aren't always the most talented, the smartest, or the luckiest. They are simply the ones who refuse to let doubt dictate their future. The mind is the battlefield where all victories and defeats are decided. If you tell yourself you are not good enough, not smart enough, or not worthy enough, you have already lost before you even begin. But when you make the shift and tell yourself, I am capable, I am powerful, I am the best at what I do, something incredible happens. Your mind starts to rewire itself to support that belief. You walk differently, you talk differently, you take actions that align with the person you see yourself becoming. That belief becomes the driving force that pushes you beyond your limitations. Most people live their entire lives waiting for someone to validate them, to tell them they are good enough. They wait for the right opportunity, the right moment, the right circumstances. But the truth is, those who achieve greatness don't wait for permission. They don't wait for the world to approve of them. They approve of themselves first, and then the world follows. They decide they are worthy, and because of that decision, they take actions that lead to results. The people who lack belief hesitate, and hesitation is the enemy of success. When you fully believe in yourself, failure no longer has the power to stop you. You begin to see setbacks as lessons, obstacles as stepping stones, and rejection as redirection. Self-belief gives you the resilience to push through difficulties because you are no longer looking for external confirmation. You don't need someone else to tell you that you will make it because you already know it in your heart. That kind of confidence is magnetic. It attracts opportunities, resources, and people who want to be part of your vision. Belief is not about arrogance. It's about certainty. It's about knowing that you have something valuable to offer, that you are capable of achieving whatever you set your mind to. When you believe in yourself, you are willing to take risks, to step outside your comfort zone, to do the things that most people are too afraid to do. And that's what separates the successful from the mediocre. It's not that they never feel fear, it's that they refuse to let fear make decisions for them. Think about the most influential people in the world. They all had moments where they could have doubted themselves, moments where they could have let fear and uncertainty stop them. But instead, they made a choice. They chose to believe in their ability in their vision, in their purpose. And because of that choice, they kept going when others quit. They pushed forward when others retreated. They acted with conviction and the world took notice. Self-belief is not a one-time decision, it's a daily commitment. Every morning you have a choice to wake up and reaffirm your power or to let doubt creep in and steal your momentum. The more you reinforce the belief that you are capable, the more unstoppable you become. You stop second guessing yourself, you stop worrying about what others think, you develop an inner strength that makes you unshakable no matter what challenges come your way. You don't need permission to be great. You don't need external validation to take action. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is your own belief. When you decide, truly decide that you are the best, that you are worthy, that you are capable, everything begins to shift in your favor. The world starts to reflect the confidence you have in yourself, but it all begins with a choice, your choice to believe. The world does not respond to hesitation. It does not stop and wait for the unsure, the timid, or the doubtful. It moves with those who move with certainty. Confidence is the currency of success, and those who carry themselves with absolute conviction are the ones who command attention, attract opportunities, and achieve the highest levels of success. When you walk into a room, people can sense whether you believe in yourself or not. They can feel whether you are certain about what you bring to the table or if you are second guessing yourself. The moment you hesitate, the moment you show doubt, the world takes a step back and questions your ability. Opportunities are attracted to those who move boldly. People want to follow leaders who exude confidence. They want to invest in businesses led by individuals who believe in their mission. They want to work with people who carry themselves as if they already own success. It is not always the smartest person who wins, nor is it always the most talented. More often than not, it is the one who is willing to act with certainty despite any external circumstances. The world rewards those who trust themselves enough to make decisions and stand by them, those who refuse to be crippled by overthinking and self-doubt. Hesitation is a silent killer. It steals time, drains energy, and keeps people stuck in the same place for years. Every time you hesitate, you give room for someone else, someone more decisive, more confident to step in and claim what could have been yours. While you are questioning if you are good enough, someone else is stepping up and taking the opportunity without hesitation. The marketplace, the world of business, and even personal relationships are all built on a foundation of certainty. The one who is sure of themselves, even when they don't have all the answers, will always outperform the one who is waiting for perfect conditions. Certainty is not about always knowing the outcome. It is about deciding that no matter what happens, you will figure it out. Those who move with certainty understand that failure is simply feedback, not a reason to stop. They understand that every action they take, whether it leads to success or a setback, is a step forward. The hesitant person waits for guarantees while the certain person creates their own. The world follows the bold, not because they never fail, but because they refuse to let fear dictate their actions. Think about the most successful entrepreneurs, leaders, and high achievers. They did not start with all the answers. They did not wait until they had everything figured out before they took action. They moved forward with faith in their abilities, with confidence that they could handle whatever challenges arose. And because they acted with certainty, the world rewarded them. Investors trusted them, customers bought from them, partners aligned with them. Their confidence became contagious, and others wanted to be part of their vision. On the other hand, those who hesitate miss out. They spend too much time analyzing, too much time wondering what if, and too much time waiting for signs. But the truth is, waiting too long is the fastest way to get left behind. The world does not stop for the hesitant. Opportunities do not wait for the undecided. When you hesitate, you let fear take control. And when fear takes control, it paralyzes you. The person who is willing to make a decision and move forward will always have an advantage over the person who is stuck in indecision. Certainty is not just about what you say, it's about how you carry yourself, how you communicate, and how you take action. When you speak, do you speak with authority? When you present an idea, do you stand behind it fully? When you take on a challenge, do you step up with confidence or do you hesitate and second guess yourself? The world is watching, and it is always looking for those who move with power and purpose. You do not need to have everything figured out. You simply need to believe in yourself enough to act. The greatest opportunities in life go to those who are bold enough to seize them, those who are willing to step up, make decisions, and trust in their own ability to succeed. The world will not wait for you to find your confidence. It will move forward with or without you. If you want to be at the top, if you want to win, then you must train yourself to act with certainty. Because in the end, the rewards of life do not go to the hesitant. They go to those who are bold enough to claim them. Everything you achieve or fail to achieve in life begins in your mind. Your mindset is the foundation of your success, the driving force behind every action you take, every decision you make, and every challenge you overcome. It is the lens through which you see the world, and that lens determines whether you see opportunities or obstacles, whether you rise after failure or stay down in defeat. Some people go through life believing that circumstances control them, that they are at the mercy of luck, the economy, or the opinions of others. But those who truly understand success know that it is not external forces that shape their future, it is their mindset. The difference between those who win and those who struggle is not their background, their intelligence, or their resources. It is the way they think. A person with a weak mindset will always find reasons why something cannot be done. They will focus on limitations, on what they lack, on why the odds are stacked against them. But a person with a strong mindset, they see possibilities where others see problems. They believe that no matter what happens, they have the power to create the results they want. And because they believe it, they act accordingly. Your mind is either your greatest weapon or your biggest enemy. It is constantly feeding you thoughts, constantly shaping your beliefs, constantly directing your actions. If you fill your mind with doubt, fear, and excuses, your actions will reflect that. You will hesitate, procrastinate, and ultimately settle for less than you are capable of achieving. But if you train your mind to be strong, to focus on solutions, to see setbacks as lessons rather than failures, then your actions will align with success. You will push forward, take risks, and refuse to be stopped by temporary obstacles. Success is not about what happens to you, it is about how you respond. Two people can experience the exact same situation, yet one will rise while the other falls. Why? Because of mindset. One sees failure as a confirmation of their limitations, while the other sees failure as a stepping stone to growth. One blames circumstances while the other takes full responsibility for their future. The way you interpret challenges, setbacks, and even victories determines how far you will go. It is not the external world that decides your success. It is the internal dialogue running through your mind every single day. The most powerful thing about mindset is that it is a choice. It is not something you are born with, it is something you develop. Every day you have the opportunity to strengthen your mind, to train yourself to think like a winner, to program yourself for success. This is why the most successful people spend time working on their mindset through books, mentors, affirmations, and disciplined habits. They understand that the mind must be conditioned for success, just like the body must be conditioned for strength. You do not just wake up with an unshakable mindset, you build it through conscious effort. Your mindset affects how you handle fear. Fear is what keeps most people stuck, but fear itself is not the problem. The problem is how you respond to it. Those with a weak mindset let fear stop them, while those with a strong mindset acknowledge fear, but refuse to let it control them. They understand that fear is just an emotion, not a reality. They move forward despite fear, and as a result, they build confidence. Every time they push past fear, they reinforce the belief that they are capable of handling anything. Your mindset also determines the level of success you allow yourself to have. Some people struggle because deep down they do not believe they deserve success. They sabotage their own progress because their mind is programmed for struggle instead of victory. But those who have conditioned their mindset for success expect to win. They believe they are worthy, and because they believe it, they act in alignment with that belief. They do not shrink back when opportunities arise. They do not question whether they are good enough. They move with confidence, and that confidence attracts the right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances into their life. Everything starts in the mind. The way you see yourself, the way you see challenges, the way you see your future, it all begins in your thinking. If you do not take control of your mindset, life will control it for you. The people who succeed are not the ones who never face obstacles. They are the ones who refuse to let those obstacles define them. Your mind is either working for you or against you, and that choice is entirely in your hands. The world moves in response to those who move with authority. When you carry yourself like the best, when you speak with confidence, when you operate as if success is already yours, the world has no choice but to acknowledge it. People are drawn to certainty. They follow those who walk, talk, and act like they own their space. The moment you begin to project the energy of someone who is at the top of their game, you start to attract the opportunities, the connections, and the results that match that level of confidence. It is not about arrogance. It is about certainty. It is about stepping into your greatness before anyone else recognizes it. Most people wait for external validation before they believe in themselves. They wait for someone to tell them they are good enough, for success to arrive before they act successful. But that is the wrong approach. You do not become great and then start acting like it. You act great first, and the results follow. You move as if you are the best at what you do, and in time, the world will have no choice but to agree. The best athletes, the best entrepreneurs, the best performers, none of them started with the world's approval. They stepped up, carried themselves like champions before anyone saw them as champions, and because of that, they became exactly what they believed. The way you carry yourself dictates how others perceive you. If you present yourself as unsure, hesitant, or average, that is exactly how the world will treat you. But if you present yourself as confident, as exceptional, as the best in your field, that is how the world will respond. People respect certainty. They trust those who seem like they know exactly where they are going. They follow those who act like leaders before anyone officially gives them the title. If you want to be the best, you must first behave like the best. You must think, speak, and move like someone who is already at the top, even if you are still on your way there. Success is a game of energy and perception. The world does not always reward the most talented or the most experienced. It rewards those who command attention, who exude confidence, who seem like they belong in the position they desire. This is why two people with the same skills can have completely different levels of success. One carries themselves with confidence and expectation, while the other doubts themselves and hopes for recognition. The one who believes in themselves fully, who acts as if they are already the best, will always outperform the one who waits for permission to step into their greatness. The key to this mindset is full commitment. You cannot halfway believe in yourself. You cannot sometimes act confident and other times shrink back into doubt. If you want the world to see you as the best, you must fully embrace that identity. Every move you make must align with it. The way you dress, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself. Every detail must reflect the image of someone who is already successful. This is not about pretending or faking it. It is about stepping into your future self now, embodying the person you are becoming before the world even realizes who you are. Every great leader, every highly successful individual started acting like the best before the world confirmed it. They showed up with confidence before they had the credentials. They demanded respect before they had a title. They took action with authority before they had the proof. They understood that if they carried themselves like the best, the world would eventually have no choice but to acknowledge it. They did not ask for permission. They declared who they were through their actions, and the world responded accordingly. The truth is, most people are waiting to be noticed, waiting to be recognized, waiting for the world to give them a sign that it is their time. But the ones who actually rise to the top do not wait. They move with certainty, with power, with confidence. They act like the best, not in arrogance, but in absolute belief. And because they believe it so deeply, the world aligns to match that belief. The opportunities come, the success follows, the recognition arrives, but it all starts with the decision to carry yourself like the best before anyone else sees it. When you walk into any situation with the energy of a champion, you shift the environment around you. People notice, they respond, they treat you differently. The world mirrors back what you project, and if you project confidence, excellence, and certainty, that is exactly what you will receive in return. The path to greatness is not about waiting, it is about stepping up, taking ownership, and acting as if your success is already written. Because once you move like the best, the world will have no choice but to follow. Greatness is not reserved for a chosen few. It is not something that only the wealthy, the well-known, or the naturally gifted have access to. It is a choice, a daily decision to rise above mediocrity, to push beyond limitations, and to demand more from yourself than the average person is willing to give. The people who achieve greatness are not necessarily the ones who started with the best circumstances. They are the ones who refuse to accept anything less than their full potential. They made a conscious decision to be great, and they back that decision with relentless action. Most people go through life believing that success is something that happens to others. They tell themselves that they were not born into the right family, that they do not have the right education, that they lack the resources or the connections to make it to the top. But that is a lie. The truth is that every person who has ever achieved greatness started with a choice. The choice to believe in themselves, to take responsibility for their future, and to refuse to let excuses dictate their destiny. They did not wait for permission. They did not wait for perfect conditions. They simply decided that they would rise, and then they did whatever it took to make that decision a reality. Every day you are making a choice. You are either choosing to move closer to greatness or choosing to stay where you are. There is no standing still. If you are not actively improving, pushing, and growing, then you are slipping into mediocrity. The difference between those who achieve extraordinary success and those who remain average is not luck. It is not intelligence, it is not talent, it is the decision to consistently do what others will not do. To wake up earlier, to work harder, to take risks, to invest in themselves, to stay disciplined when others get distracted. The difference is not in ability, it is in commitment. Greatness is uncomfortable. It requires sacrifice. It demands that you step outside of what is easy and familiar and embrace challenge, struggle, and uncertainty. That is why so few people reach their full potential, because they are unwilling to pay the price. They want success, but they are not willing to push through discomfort to get there. They want greatness, but they allow fear to hold them back. They look at the people who have achieved at the highest levels and assume that they were given something special, when in reality, the only thing they had was an unshakable commitment to their vision. If you study the lives of the most successful individuals in history, you will find a common thread. They all faced adversity, they all encountered obstacles, they all experienced failure, but instead of seeing those challenges as reasons to quit, they saw them as stepping stones. They made a decision that no matter what came their way, they would keep moving forward. That is the power of choice. Life will test you. It will throw difficulties in your path. But the people who reach greatness are those who choose to keep going, who choose to believe in themselves, who choose to fight for what they want, even when the odds are stacked against them. There are no guarantees in life, but there is one truth that never changes. If you do not choose greatness, mediocrity will choose you. The world does not hand success to those who wait for it. It rewards those who claim it, who step up and declare that they will not settle for anything less than the best version of themselves. Your circumstances do not define you. Your background does not define you. The only thing that defines you is the choices you make every single day. The people who accomplish the most in life are not the ones with the fewest problems. They are the ones who refuse to let their problems stop them. They do not make excuses. They do not wait for someone else to save them. They take control of their own destiny. They understand that greatness is not given, it is earned through discipline, through persistence, through the willingness to do whatever it takes. They choose to think differently, to act differently, to demand more of themselves, and because of that choice, they rise above the rest. Everything you want is on the other side of a decision. The decision to be more, to do more, to expect more. The decision to take responsibility for your own success. The decision to show up every day with the mindset, the work ethic, and the determination of someone who is already great. Greatness is not handed out. It is not a privilege. It is a choice. And the only question that matters is, are you willing to make it? The world belongs to those who take action without hesitation, without seeking approval, and without apologizing for their ambition. Too many people hold themselves back, waiting for permission to pursue their dreams. Afraid of what others might think, concerned about stepping on toes or making the wrong move. But success does not come to those who wait. It comes to those who step up, take charge, and move forward with boldness. The moment you decide to take action without apology, you free yourself from the limitations that hold most people back. You stop second guessing, you stop seeking validation, and you start making real progress toward your goals. The people who achieve the highest levels of success are not the ones who tiptoe through life hoping not to offend anyone. They are the ones who move with purpose, who take decisive action, who do what needs to be done without constantly explaining themselves. They understand that not everyone will agree with them, not everyone will support them, and not everyone will like their approach, but they do not let that stop them. They know that success is not about making everyone comfortable, it is about making things happen. Hesitation kills momentum. Every time you hesitate, every time you wait for the perfect time, every time you pause to get someone else's approval, you slow yourself down. The people who win are the ones who take action even when they are uncertain, even when they do not have all the answers, even when they are afraid. They understand that waiting too long is the fastest way to let opportunities slip through their fingers. They do not apologize for being ambitious. They do not downplay their goals to make others feel comfortable. They take bold steps forward, knowing that progress is built on movement, not hesitation. Taking action without apology does not mean being reckless. It means being confident. It means trusting yourself enough to make decisions and stand by them. It means knowing that you will make mistakes, but refusing to let that fear keep you from moving forward. It means acting with conviction, not waiting for every detail to be perfect, not asking for permission from people who do not understand your vision. The most successful individuals do not wait for the stars to align. They align them by taking massive action and adjusting along the way. Every time you apologize for taking up space, for wanting more, for chasing your dreams, you shrink yourself. You send a message to yourself and to the world that you are not fully committed. But when you take action with confidence, when you stop justifying your ambition, you command respect. People may not always agree with you, but they will recognize your certainty. And when you believe in yourself fully, you give others no choice but to believe in you too. Confidence is contagious, and those who act with certainty naturally attract opportunities, partnerships, and success. You do not owe anyone an explanation for wanting to succeed. You do not have to justify your goals, your decisions, or your drive. People who are intimidated by your ambition will try to make you feel guilty for wanting more. They will question why you work so hard, why you think so big, why you refuse to settle. But their opinions do not pay your bills. Their doubts do not determine your future. Their fears should never dictate your actions. If you want something, go after it without hesitation and without apology. The world does not slow down for people who hesitate. It moves with those who are willing to make things happen. The ones who succeed are the ones who take action despite fear, despite uncertainty, despite opposition. They do not let the opinions of others dictate their level of effort. They do not wait for permission to step into their greatness. They take action, they make decisions, and they adjust as they go. And because they refuse to hold back, they achieve results that others only dream about. You have one life, and the clock is ticking. Every moment you spend waiting, overthinking, or hesitating is a moment lost forever. If you have a goal, take action. If you have a dream, move toward it. If you want to be successful, stop apologizing for it. The ones who win are the ones who act. The ones who take the leap, make the moves, and refuse to let doubt or fear hold them back. Because in the end, the only people who succeed are the ones who had the courage to take action without apology.